crucial point in their lives and need to make decisions about tertiary studies. At this point already, some students are still battling to decide what career path to pursue and at what tertiary institutions to enroll. According to the Professional Provident Society, that's your PPS, a financial service provider that focuses on graduate professionals, they say the types of jobs required by employers and the economy at large complicates this decision-making process. Joining us the studio joining us this morning, of course, in our studios here in Johannesburg is Vuyo Kobokoane. She is the executive head of PPS. Vuyo, good morning and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Palisa.
Thank you so much for your time. Now, just before we get on to the crux of the issue, talk to us about PPS. What exactly does PPS do?
So PPS is a professional provident society. We provide financial services solutions to graduate professionals in particular. So this conversation suits us very well because we want to begin to engage our current and future customers and leaders who are these young grade 12s this year.
And what should the matriculants that are uncertain about career paths do to help themselves in this difficult decision-making process? And I always say that it's a little bit too late to decide while you're in grade 12. You should be starting on your decision process around grade 10 maybe.
Well, it is hard, Balisa. It's a difficult conversation and decision. So what we're saying right now, I mean, we know that they're currently focusing on finishing their mock exams, finishing their year-end exams, but know yourself, kind of know what is the kind of bigger problem that you're looking to solve one day when you qualify and graduate. And on the basis of that, inform yourself, read up, talk to people who've been in the industry, people who kind of are doing the work that you're doing or wanting to do, and inform yourself. So attend open days, but read up. But you can't step into your future unarmed, right? So absolutely, you do need to explore a lot of those options. What are the things that you like? What is your aptitude towards those things? Do you have the skill? Do you have the right kind of attitude towards it? And if not, explore the various options, but certainly go into your future armed.
But are they really allowed to make changes? Because if I were to think back when I was doing grade 10, between my grade 10 and grade 12 years, I changed my career decision-making process more than 4 times.
Absolutely.
Before I actually enrolled for something that I wanted to pursue.
But also remember, Balisa, even when you are in tertiary and you've selected a program that you're wanting to pursue, you may study law, you finish your degree, at the end of it you may not necessarily want to practice law. So it's that kind of agility that you need to build into your career path. But you also have to understand, make a choice though. With all of that that flexibility, make a choice.
And the nicest thing now, information is very easily at our disposal. You have the internet, you can Google careers and get more information and decide if that's the career that you want to follow.
But talk to people who are doing some of the work that you would like to do. Understanding, I mean, look at how technology has impacted the way we do things. So if that's the kind of thing you like, seek to understand how it's going to affect the work that you would want to do one day.
Because some jobs looks glamorous.
They do.
Your television job looks glamorous. But if you were to go on to the actual planning phases of it, it's something very difficult, something that you might not want to do.
Correct. And until you've spoken to her, Balisa, you won't know that you've been absent, 3 o'clock this morning? Right? And you have to read up, you have to know your story, you have to prep how you're going to do the interviews. Exactly.
But Vuyo, do you think the current situation at universities, especially with regards to the fees must fall movement, does it necessarily affect the decision-making processes of grade 12 learners?
Look, it is what it is. It's an important challenge that we're all facing and must come to a conclusion. We have to trust in the work of the Fees Commission and that it will come to a sustainable solution for us all that is sustainable in the long term, in the here and now. We're just saying, as the foundation, as PPS Foundation, we have some of those short-term solutions to meet the needs of the students in terms of funding. So we understand that funding is scarce to come about, right? But as a foundation, we're saying we are looking at supporting you. We're going to supplement the work that the government is doing. So it is important, it's important discourse, but we're saying that's not the only channel. So there are organizations such as ourselves that are looking to fund and support students who are wanting to pursue tertiary education.
Yeah. Now, you've also mentioned one important aspect of technology.
Yeah.
Do you think that technology will cause many careers to look or to be redundant, especially in the near future? I mean, is this something that learners should perhaps take into consideration when making their decisions?
Absolutely. Baliza, I mean, if you look, just maybe two quick examples, the travel and hospitality industry, for example, way back, there wasn't, I mean, you had to kind of talk to a travel agent to build your itinerary to go anywhere. Nowadays, what do? You get onto a booking platform, you book your flight, you book accommodation without too much interface from a travel agent, although sometimes if it's far more complex, you may then seek that kind of advice. So that wasn't available a couple of years ago. In our environment, financial services sector, new technologies have impacted us, such as robo-advice. So, for example, when you navigate through your financial planning process, it's a complex process, right? So you do need financial advice. You still need that face-to-face. However, if you're more confident in doing that, you can actually go into what we call a robo-advice technology and kind of self-serve. So
it's taking
over. It's a new dimension.
Yeah.
It doesn't entirely take over because it's a complex process, but it certainly creates a new dimension in the financial advice relationship. So those are some of the impacts that have come into that space, and that's the kind of consideration young people need to take into account when they plan their careers.
But then, in your view, what skills are essential for any workplace?
Well, they differ, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about financial services because that's where I'm in. We currently have a dearth of those skills. For example, actuarial skills. We don't have nearly enough actuaries across the financial services sector, in particular in insurance. We're always going to need chartered accountants, investment bankers, and that sort of skill set. So from a PPS Foundation perspective, we are very much biased towards science, technology, engineering, and math disciplines. And we encourage young people to pursue those. That's where most of the demand is, by and large. Not to say that the humanities are not important, but certainly in our environment, that's where the skills gap
so
remains.
It differs from one sector to another.
Absolutely does.
It does.
It absolutely does.
But then what advice do you have for the grade 12 learners? They're sitting for their final exams next month.
Yeah.
And I know it's quite a confusing time. There's stressing, there's pressure, there's just so much happening in their lives now.
Certainly start early. Start the application process early. Once you know what it is you want to do, what are you going to go and do out there? Arm yourself with the right information and knowledge. So start the application process early. Attend those open days within the universities.
And don't just apply to one institution.
Don't, right? So understand what the requirements are at UCT, at Limpopo, at Sefako Makhat. Understand what those requirements are. But then, in the same process, understand what are the opportunities for you to fund your studies. So as a PPS Foundation, we're saying if you're studying anything related to science, technology, engineering, and math, we're here. Yeah. We're going to support you through that, and understand what it takes to actually get into those disciplines and work towards that even now as you prepare for your final exams.
All right, but how do they get in touch with PPS?
So we are available on info@ppsfoundation.co.za. And our application process actually starts now in October.
Oh, they're starting now in October. Yeah. All right, so that's an opportunity for them. Vuyo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Palisa.
There you have it. That's Vuyo Kobokoane. She is the executive head of PPS, talking to us about the importance of making a correct career choice now while you're still doing grade 12.